Shawn and John.
It's called mise en place. Everything has its place. That's what we're looking for here.
I think I have everything that I need. I don't know if I need the hobo book right now.
I don't have a pen, so no thinking on the fly.
You don't have a pen? You always gotta have a pen.
I know. I feel like I'm sitting on it, or it's right in front of me. But
that's okay. We're gonna get ready to do this, and I think we're ready.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm Shawn, and with always John right here.
How's it going, everybody?
Hey. And John, where are we?
You are with Amongst Friends right now, ladies and gentlemen, listening to, I believe we're on currently episode number 4 or number
5. I think
number 5.
Yeah,
oh my God, we have 5 episodes.
A whole fucking hand, man.
You know what, man? If you put it all on one hand, you got 5. We're on episode number 5. And you know what, guys? We've been talking about a lot of different things lately, a lot of personal things, a lot of things that could actually upset us or be a little bit of a bummer. But you know what? Sometimes the hardest things to go through allow us to open up and to begin to talk about more positive things that allow us to grow, things that allow us to move on, things that allow us to forgive.
Yes, forgiveness. You know, the willingness to let go of what I feel is for me personally, a lot of resentment and burdens, which I carry with me. And I do think this is a beautiful topic to go into today, because if anyone's been listening, or John, just for you and me, what we've been talking about prior to this, I think this is a great conclusion to this little 5-part series. And just to tie back into what we said about the hand, what are the 5 fingers united?
Fist.
Fist, man.
Yeah, a fist of fury.
Fist is more powerful than any one of those fingers.
Right,
so,
that's true.
So when you're amongst friends,
you got power.
You're stronger, baby.
That's right. Oh, I like that. Did you just come up with that?
I think I did.
Damn, dude, that was really clever.
I'm gonna write that down. Oh, I can't.
You should write that down.
Oh, pen right now.
I'm gonna write this. If you say it again later, I promise I'll write it down. Okay. Something about the 5 fingers, make a fist.
Making a fist, and you're more powerful. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But John, what's forgiveness mean to you? Can you, in your words, what's forgiveness?
Forgiveness, in a lot of ways, for me, is the starting point of change. You know, when I start to forgive myself, or if I am trying to apologize, these are the starting parts of my way isn't working, and I need somebody to show me or find a new way to think, because obviously what I've been doing has not worked to that point. You know what I mean? Yeah. If I'm apologizing, or if I'm trying to forgive somebody, in either one of those 2 circumstances, let's talk about the part about forgiving in terms of that in general, because you hear somebody say, I will never forgive that person. I will never drop that rock. And what are you supposed to do? If you continue to hold on to that rock for past 2, let's say it's trauma in that sense. Let's say that's your anchor, it's the trauma of something in the past.
Yeah.
And you can't move on from it without at least letting go of it. So to me, I would say that forgiveness is the beginning stages of change.
Fucking A, man. Fucking A. And if you're not willing to forgive, I don't think forgiveness is going to happen. You have to.
I think willingness is definitely a huge part of that process.
Yeah.
How can you be willing to forgive? I mean, how are you able to forgive without that sense of humility or willingness to do so?
In America, we have this beautiful concept of fake it till you make it. And that works for, I think, a lot of good scenarios, especially working in restaurants. I'm putting that fucking smile on, and I'm going to push through this fucking day. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, I will feel like I had a good shift, and my money will show it. And that's a good time when fake it till you make it comes in. Now, for forgiveness, there's no how-to guide, I think. But
I don't think there is either. I think there's so many different ways in terms of how somebody can do that process, and every way is in itself unique. Or, um,
no,
uh,
you're right.
I don't think there's a right word for it. Like, it's not like it's a cookie cutter like way of doing it.
Yeah, it's like grieving. It looks different for everyone. I grew up in a funeral home, and the grieving process it's different for everybody. I've seen people get angry. I've seen people get happy. People
Mm.
drop all their emotions. Some people are like hyper aware. And I think forgiveness is the same thing. It's not just one color or a cookie cutter size. It's definitely, again, what it means to you, and you going through the steps, again, and the steps can be, I think, different for everybody. I think we're going to go over a couple steps actually.
I think so.
But yeah, so for me, researching this topic, and I want to throw this out here, going to YouTube might not be the best option if you're looking for any topics in forgiveness, and because this is going to go two ways. One way, you're going to go to someone who's kind of like a fake kind of guru, or like a motivational speaker who's looking to sell you something, not to help you. And then there's the other kind of rabbit hole where religion and ideology can kind of get thrown in there, which is more, I think, on the cult kind of spectrum. There's a lot of good things that religion, religious, religion, or such as Christianity and stuff that can teach you about forgiveness. But going on YouTube, John.
So you did this, right? You did the YouTube rabbit hole.
I found some.
So what did you find?
I don't want to name drop, really. I mean,
just give me some examples as to like things that.
Well, yeah, like those really big mega churches.
Oh my goodness! Yeah.
Usually in the South, for example, they think that you can buy your way into forgiveness. They ask for.
What is that? How much do you have to pay for forgiveness in those?
Well, the one video I saw was $1,000.
$1,000?
Yes. If you donate $1,000 to the church, God will send you the power to forgive and the power to love.
Stop! They didn't say that.
I'll share the video with you later, but
okay.
I don't want to.
Right. No names. We're not doing names. But like, in terms of these things, do you feel like even if you did pay, let's say like even if somebody paid the $1,000, right? Like I paid the $1,000. Me personally, I don't think that it's going to make a difference in terms of that. Because like, honestly, I think I would just feel bad about losing the $1,000 instead of being actually remorseful or like sincere about my forgiveness. You know what I mean?
It's a quick high. That's what it is. You feel good in the moment for a decision you made that later down the road can hurt you. And again, I'm not saying that all religions are bad. I do think there's a beautiful part of spirituality that you can find in Christianity, Judaism, Islam, and the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monsters is one I found today.
That's cool. Get biblical with it,
dude. And I even found some cool stuff about the Church of Satan. They had some good tips on how to let go, and that goes for. I didn't want to go into the Church of Satan too much, but
right. No, I understand.
There's actually, you take what you want from everything instead of just taking one doctrine and then run into the hills with it. Now, if that's your thing and you're happy and it's working for you, by all means keep doing it.
Yeah, keep doing it.
But I do see the polar. I do see how it's white and black. Sometimes it's if especially with religion, they preach forgiveness, but in reality they don't believe that, and they look for more self-gratifying events. Vengeance is one.
Ooh, wait, why is vengeance one?
I found a couple of I've been watching a couple other videos too, where people are like trying to get back at other people by, for example,
by forgiving them. That sounds like an oxymoron, though.
No, not by forgiving them, by the act of not forgiving. There's a YouTube channel that I watched, and without dropping names again, this person put an object on their front porch and was baiting people to come in and steal it, and the object that the person stole was tracked with a bunch of phones. It had a glitter bomb in it.
I saw that. I saw that as well. The glitter bomb thing.
Dude,
Yeah.
Dude, I went through the comments, and it was, I mean, not that YouTube comments mean anything, but sometimes I do see a cool support in a cool, community that leaves helpful comments. Dude, comments on this particular video were people that had packages stolen from them in the past, and they were like relentless with like how to hurt people and how to get back at them. And the people stealing the packages are the worst scum in the world. And that, it's material shit that they're stealing. And I know it sucks. I've had shit stolen.
Yeah, I've had tons of packages gone missing somehow.
But trying to get vengeance or baiting people to get vengeance, I think is the craziest fucking thing that you can do. And the fever that everyone's on the same page now. You're right. Fuck that person. You're right. Let's go to their house and fucking bomb them. And we're like egg them or burn them down, dude. And not to mention most people. The video kind of points out the flaws of what this guy's doing by the kind of people that are picking up the packages are certain kinds of groups in this world. And dude, it'd be so much easier to be like, hey, I know you stole my package. I forgive you. And that's it. Maybe stop having shit delivered to your house. I don't know. But
I mean, just go pick it up or stop using Amazon.
Stop using Amazon, people. Whoa.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Whoa, hey, ho. We weren't supposed to go that direction yet.
No, but and this will continue over to another thing. I watched a documentary. I told this about with you last week, John.
Lay it on me.
Where someone's family got killed. His two daughters and his wife got raped and killed by two struggling fucking people. And the community that this family was from was so quick and easy to want to kill these two guys. Now they did a horrific fucking crime, and that should not be forgotten. But I think if the community came together to forgive and move on and educate, I think the community would have been better off, because now everyone's angry. They want the death penalty. They're not solving any of what happened to them, and they're finding someone else to put that blame on and then kill them for it.
Right.
I think the death penalty, and I'm gonna go off my own personal.
Yeah, no, go ahead, because I have opinions about that as well.
Me personally, I don't think it matters what you did. I don't think anyone else has the right to control whether you live or die. And the jails in this country are already the worst jails in
all
world,
and one of the worst jails. I mean, like, we're not talking like third world country, goulash kind of thing.
Yeah, that's a
gulag kind of thing. But it's still kind of shitty to go to jail. It's not. Yeah, thank you. I know.
Sorry. No, it's.
But seriously, it's not fun. The ability to not have like control of like when you turn off or on a light is one thing in jail, right? And that really sucks.
Hours.
But to have somebody have the ultimate life and death switch, it's just too much. I agree with that totally.
There's no growth that can come from that except petty vengeance. And
what do you think about if you think about other prisons in the world or other types of I want to call it judiciary, but I'm not sure if that's the right word.
They do the whole sentencing, the judiciary branch,
that Dewey Decimal System, you know what I mean? I'm just kidding. Have you seen other prisons around the world? Like, is there one that I think that there's like one in like Sweden or Sweden.
I think it's Norway or Sweden.
It's up there.
They focus 100% on rehabilitation, not punishment, and it's showing. It doesn't work for everybody, but it's showing really good, promising results, and people are going back into society. And they're not relapsing with the horrible murders that they do, or stealing, if you can solve the issues of what is a person is struggling with, I really do think you can incite change for the better.
Right.
Canada's
And I
really good
think,
at that too.
oh,
Canada,
really?
yeah,
I,
Canada puts mental health really into the spectrum of what of why you committed the crime, not because you committed the crime. Let's punish you. And people have killed people and gotten like 8 years and been able to integrate back into society. And I do think you know people need to be held responsible and accountable of their decisions.
mhm.
I will take full responsibility of the stupid decisions I made as a child, and every time I was arrested, I probably deserved it. But if a society can get behind rehabilitation, I think they will prosper in the future tenfold than just being vengeance. And that it all comes from forgiveness. And
Right, exactly.
not just saying, hey, I forgive you, but to yourself, letting yourself actually forgive the person. I watched an awesome TED talk by Sarah Montana. And again, her family, her brother and mother were killed by a 17-year-old. And the battle that she went through of self-actualization and forgiveness, dude, my hands, my shoulder hurts, but I left clapping that talk. She's
Wow.
proof. She is proof that forgiveness can make you feel and act so much better.
Right. And I think it boils down to like, what is considered my will in this situation versus what is considered just living on life terms or just being part of the process. And it's so hard for us to not put our opinion down on the line when it comes to these things,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that has to do with pride. I think it also has to do with fear
Ego, yeah,
and
pride, ego.
ego. Yeah, and once you start to have this concept of forgiveness in your life, you start to really realize that it doesn't really have to be my way in this. Like, do you understand what I'm saying?
No, I totally understand because your way is not letting go and trying
Yeah,
to
not letting go,
control, and then
being
and
stuck in my own
snowballs. It
still
snowballs.
behaviors. Yep.
Yeah, and it becomes a much bigger problem down the road. And people deal with these problems by self medicating, getting angry,
Hmm.
holding in. It's like what I said earlier. It's like a bag of burden that you carry with you up a mountain.
Right.
Let go of the bag, dude. Like you don't
Well,
have to carry
speak
it.
speaking in that regard, about like self medication, and we were talking about prisons and things like that. I see a lot of people like uh, uh, how we handle like people that are like addicts, right?
Yes.
In the States comparatively to like, let's say, Vancouver, and where they have like facilities that allow them to shoot up, let's say,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
with
Yeah. Like
a drug. You know what I'm
clean
talking about?
house.
Like, and I thought that was so merciful to a population that really needs a little bit of mercy every now and then, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and allowing people. I think once you start showing people the act of being forgiven or forgiving,
It's
um,
contagious.
it's contagious. And you see it in lines at Starbucks. Oh, the guy in front of me paid for my Starbucks coffee. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Pay it
how
forward.
good that makes you feel to have that feeling. And as you said before, Shawn, it is contagious. I want to pay for the next guy's coffee. I want
Telling
that guy to locomotive me and like
you.
carry on the good vibe train. And that's a powerful feeling. That's a powerful motive to focus on instead of some of the things that we've been feeling throughout 2020. And I think everybody has their own way of describing their 2020 and how it made them feel. Um, and I think it's important to understand that forgiveness requires being able to also forgive yourself. And
Yes.
I don't know if we really talked about that. I'm sure we've talked about it a lot through some of our other sessions, but like the act of forgiving yourself is the only way in which you could start to do that for others.
No, definitely, Siri. I think you have to forgive yourself first because we're going to be self-critical the most to ourselves. And
Exactly.
um,
I'm
and
my own worst critic and my own worst enemy.
no, seriously.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And knowing that, um, I know how it makes me feel and how it makes me act towards other people. And so, knowing that knowledge, when someone is, completely rude, at Starbucks, the person in front of me, I'm standing too close to them or whatever.
Or they're talking too loud.
Yeah. And that person is you can see the body language that they're angry, that they're not happy. This is somebody who is probably suffering from not being able to let go and forgive. Because like every other video we talked about, all these things are connected. Your mind is, it's all there, and you can seriously just with this power, you can. It's just the power of letting go. It will change your entire attitude towards everyone else, even people that are angry at you and in your face at you. Like as a server, someone forgot to get their muffin or whatever, and they would get really angry at me.
I need my muffin so bad.
Dude, and I wasn't in the right headspace. I would get angry back. And it's like, whoa. This person obviously has something going on. They don't mean to be mean to me. They're already hurting themselves most likely. So especially as a server bartender, you should be able to forgive on the spot of somebody who is completely rude to you and knows that they have a power over you for that almighty dollar.
Right.
So,
and I think it's also important to remember that people are going to be people. They're always going to be somebody that has the opinions are like assholes. Everybody's going to have them,
and they stink.
And they stink sometimes. They really do. So like, I think it's important to also remember sometimes people will ultimately put how they're feeling and project it as to how they're acting towards you. You know what I mean? Definitely. And I call that the smoky mirror. This certain realization that, if you're angry about something, it's usually angry about yourself or angry about how I acted in that position.
Yeah, and dude, that goes for what I've already mentioned before. Whenever I smoke weed, I get into these weird headspaces where it's like, oh man, what the fuck? And a lot of that,
I got in a really weird one. Yeah, I don't know if I told you this or not, but I just literally felt like I stepped into the Matrix and I was being unplugged from it.
You did tell me,
and I was straight up losing it.
Yeah.
I thought people could hear my thoughts. I thought that I had to I had to throw up in the toilet in order to get flushed down the toilet. Like this crazy socks for clocks. I couldn't keep it together.
No, seriously. And I think that's the weed telling me, hey, Shawn, you got stuff you need to work on. This is going to hurt you either now or it's going to hurt you later. So I think it's the weed trying to tell me, you got to work on these things and you can enjoy me after you work on yourself. So it's going to take some time, but I know I'll be able to smoke weed probably later this year again. And I'm looking forward to it because it's going to be a fun night, I tell you.
Yeah. You know what, though? And more power to you to realize, like, sometimes I need a little break from that in order to, like, put myself in a better position. It's either you wreck yourself or you check yourself. And it certainly like you checked yourself out pretty good.
No, it's it's true. So like,
I want to ask. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
No. Ask away.
I want to ask, like, in terms of this, Shawn, like, how have you worked on forgiveness these past couple of days as you realized like this was going to be our topic? Because I don't know if anybody realized this from our shows that we talked last time. Once we end the show on Sunday night, we then collaborate with one another and kind of talk about what our next topic is going to be throughout the week, and we start that on Monday. So Shawn, since Monday, how have you been practicing forgiveness in your life?
I was going to go right into that, actually.
Oh, shit. I beat you to it.
I'm happy you said that because that's
And this is why we do a podcast together. You see,
because I mean, for the past, I've been already playing with this idea for a couple months now, because I know letting go and let go like God, it definitely makes transitions and new things so much easier because I don't have to control all the little details. But for right now, actually, me and my partner have kind of been, especially since moving up here to New York, we've had a more bumpy experience than anything in the past. And it's because I'm still holding on to little things that, has happened that have affected me in the past. And I haven't forgiven those transgressions or those acts from happening. So without getting into too much, personal detail.
Yeah,
there,
we don't have to get into personal details in terms of that. Just
but
the application.
but I was able to sit down and we were able to talk face to face, and I was able to say, sincerely that I was sorry for my attitude and the way I acted, and then I kind of finished it with like, and I forgive you for your attitude and the way you acted, and I wish I had the text in front of me.
Yeah.
That we had because after she ended up going to work and I ended up texting her this beautiful paragraph, which I have more stories for later. And I don't blame them for anything that happened. I used to like, and there'd be trust issues, and there'd be like when I wouldn't get respond back, or when they wouldn't pick up the phone.
Oh my God, I know that feeling.
Yeah, like, and yeah, but no, but seriously, like my mind my mind starts going like three places. Oh my God, they were killed. Oh, they're having sex somewhere. Mind you, I've never been cheated on with this person ever. But this is where my mind goes, because there was an issue later this past year where lying happened, and I'm not the most honest person either, which is great for our honesty episode that we had.
Yeah, but we've been talking about that, and we've been working on those things a little bit.
Yes, and by me being as honest as I can be, that makes me feel better that they are being as honest as they can be.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to tell them that I actually forgave them sincerely, and I know it doesn't change what happened, and I'm not saying it's all okay that it happened, but I'm saying I understand the struggle that they went through and why it happened. And how we can never let that, and how we can work to not let that happen again. I'm not going to say never, no one's perfect, but me being able to do that, it's been like, oh, dude, like now when the phone's not, when I don't get texts or the phone doesn't get picked up, or it's been a day and I haven't seen anybody, I don't go into that angry, isolated mindset anymore where I try and get even. The passive aggressive Shawn is slowly going away. And it's because I was able to forgive the person that I'm with all the time.
Right. And of course that's difficult to do that. Of course it's hard to like say, hey, listen, I'm really sorry for being this way, especially during these hard times. It hurts to do that. It hurts to be wrong in a lot of those scenarios. I had a similar incident with my partner. And we've been teaching her how to drive recently, and how scary that is for me as like an anxious person in my car, and how nervous I get. Like I'm just, and she's a good driver. Let me just start by saying, like, she's really been like practicing and doing really well with that. And she does like she does like the little jerks sometimes, like that on like a bridge, and I get a little nervous, to say the least. But we were pulling into like a parking spot, and she got a little too close to the car. I'm like, just be careful of that car. And I'm like, great. And one of the things that like I don't want to do is come off as angry.
Yes.
Because that could be a trigger for somebody. Is like somebody having like aggression towards them, and I try to be conscientious, but like sometimes it's second nature, and being able to say, like I'm sorry for like behaving like that, or yeah, in those scenarios goes a really long way, instead of just like fighting it out or making something as minuscule as like a mistake. I jerk the wheel all the time, but like I probably don't even notice how many times I jerk the wheel on the road, or like trying to park close to a car. You know what I mean? And sometimes it fights against like this concept of me being right versus them being right. Do you know what I mean?
I totally fucking know what you mean.
It's like a mind battle, if you will. And just instead of fighting it out tooth and nail with that individual, forgiving them allows me to just honestly move on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's like the best part about being able to forgive and having forgiveness in general, is the ability to continue on your day, you know. um so what was I going to say? That, believe it or not, like when I talked about moving on, that was actually part of this like 15 list step that I found
Oh yeah, here,
recently in terms of that.
go through.
You want to go through a couple?
Yeah. Lay it
I'll
on
try
me,
to
buddy.
keep it quick. So like step one was that move on and on to the next act. You passed your history. All of your hurts are no longer here in your physical reality. Don't allow them to be in your mind, muddying your present moments. And I think about that too. Like we have a hard concept of being stuck in like either past or future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel so terrified of the future. I feel so awful about my past. And it's so hard not to focus on what's really here and what's really going on in the present. I got 1 foot in the past, 1 foot in the future, and I'm pissing all over today. Number two is reconnecting to spirit. Make an agreement with yourself to always stay connected to the spiritual side of things, even when it seems like it's most difficult thing to do.
Yes.
Argue with that. I mean,
Yes.
sometimes it's hard to stay connected to like this goodwill feeling,
No, definitely.
You could call it the spirit. I don't know. I don't have any problems calling it the spirit.
Yeah.
But let's see here. Don't go to sleep angry. I don't know if that's really part of the steps for me in terms of that, because sometimes I go to bed mad, and I hate going to bed mad, but
yeah,
it just happens for me.
I can't sleep. I sit there, I go over the events, and I tear them apart. I start tearing myself apart. I completely agree with that.
I think that's good to hear, because I can never go to sleep actually mad. I just kind of stay up and like have like weird fights by myself.
No,
it's so weird. Like I actually have arguments with people that aren't even there, and like, oh, this is what I would have said, and like this is how I would respond to this, and then I keep it for later. I'm like, oh, that's fucking good.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. And then if it ever happens again, you've already forgotten about it.
Yeah, and exactly.
It's a waste. It's you can spend your time much better before you go to bed. Yeah. Reading a book. Or
meanwhile, I should really be fucking asleep at 3 a.m.
Yeah, dude. It always happens. It always happens when I have something to do the next morning.
I know, like go to work or something. It's like, oh, it's terrible.
Dude,
number 4 on this list is switch the focus from blaming others to understanding yourself. And I thought this was a really powerful one.
Dude, that's 3 of my stories actually. But yeah.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Whenever you're upset over the context of others, take the focus off those you're holding responsible for your inner distress, and then shift to your mental energy, allowing yourself to be whatever you're feeling. And it sounds so simple to just do that, but this part here that says allowing yourself to be whatever you're feeling, it sounds so cloudy to me. It means, what do you think about that?
Processing your feelings. It means allowing yourself to feel. If you try and convince yourself to not be angry, to just be happy, I think you're going to bury that emotion down, and that whatever happens down, and it's basically doing push-ups, waiting for you to get invulnerable or weak again, so you can boom, jump out and attack.
Ooh.
like not forgiving my partner for lying, for whatever. If I just tell myself if I just stop myself and turn it off and don't forgive, I'm going to use it as ammunition for a fight.
Ammunition, yeah, and
Yeah.
then resentment,
Yeah.
exactly. And I think that's such a valuable point too, Shawn, is what you just noticed, how I could use this as a tool of retaliation, or I could just understand myself and understand what I'm feeling and then become a better person out of it.
Yeah.
So internalizing it, or sending out word vomit, it's really dependent on you, really,
Yep.
on how you're doing.
Yep.
I see, like, tell yourself that you are willing to freely express your emotions without calling them wrong. Ooh, how many times have I done that? Calling my emotions wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like every time I'm angry, I'm like, it's probably wrong for me to be angry right now. And, sometimes it's okay to be angry. Sometimes, if you stub your toe and you stub your toe and you kick the dog by mistake,
Oh yeah.
Sometimes it's okay to be a little angry at yourself, but
Yeah.
telling yourself that it's not real again, you're just going to bury it. You're going to bury it and it's going to come back and bite you in the ass fucking later.
And then ultimately, as you were just talking about, which we would call taking responsibility of yourself and how you respond to anything or anyone, you're aligning yourself with the beautiful dance of life, and this is what we call living on life's terms, ladies and gentlemen, and being responsible for your own wake through that river of life.
Yeah. I mean, can I go into some stories real quick?
Please go right ahead. I mean, we're only on step 5, but there's a lot of these things, so go right ahead if it ties right in.
So for me, like, to again, like, back, this is big, really, or less, kind of forgiving myself, but I've made choices in the past that have hurt me, especially in 2020. Like my insurance fiasco, my not working on my credit score and not kind of thinking about it at all, and kind of not worrying about my taxes.
Yeah.
These things all came back to bite me in the ass.
It's done that to me too recently.
I was angry at society, the system. I was angry at the companies. I attacked U-Haul in a vicious fucking email because they were like skyrocketing their price. This is mid pandemic. They were skyrocketing their prices to rent a truck. And dude, I took it out on the customer service person. Like, he's not the one making any of the prices, but because I didn't let it go and forgive the company for making these prices, I started to act out at people. And that goes for the Instacart fiasco, where somebody kind of wasn't doing their job. I had a background check done to me. They found something from like 7 years ago that ended up being a disorderly persons offense that you don't.
You did this?
Yeah, no, Instacart.
Instacart did that.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, and I attacked Instacart's security and trust team. I sent some really mean emails. I was cursing. I was being kind of abrupt and telling them that they were horrible at their jobs. When in reality, it's a easy, simple mistake that if anyone with that went back and reviewed the process would be like, oh, we didn't have to go down this route, obviously. Because John, I don't know if you know, a disorderly persons offense is basically, from where we're from, it's basically a money making scheme. It's how the court can make money, and you don't have really anything that's held against you. Disorderly persons can be just being drunk in public, jaywalking,
anything like that,
talking back to a cop. Things that don't really matter.
I'm sorry. Wait, you get a ticket for doing that? Like, you get a ticket for talking back to a cop?
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. It's not going to happen in cities, most likely, but in small town America, small white town America, yes. Talking to a cop with any kind of attitude can be, they'll take it to the court, and they'll make it a disorderly persons, and they'll make you pay their $500 fine, and
Oh my
their
goodness.
$40 safe neighborhood fund, and another fund, and this fund. Basically, you're just paying salaries at that point. So that's what happened to me, and I was so angry, and I blamed the system and everyone else except myself. I was younger. I did a stupid thing, and I never forgave myself, and I never forgave anyone else for what happened. And I used that as fuel for my anger fire.
And
And
it's amazing how long you can really fuel yourself up with that too.
dude, this
Like
this
you
event
can.
happened like 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why the fuck? It's 8 years ago. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, why the fuck? Why do I care? It's first of all, it's Instacart. It's not a good job.
Right.
And second of all, it's like I'm giving this event power now. It has power
Yes.
over me.
Yes, exactly. And that's such a great point. Yeah.
That is toxic. It's very toxic. And I'm going to actually reach out to U-Haul and the Instacart team, and I'm just going to send a sorry email like, hey, I was heated, I was upset, I'm sorry I treated you guys like this. Same goes for Spectrum, my internet provider. I got really heated over not being able to view my bill.
Right.
I went paperless, and they it's a whole thing, but. And I went on Yelp a couple times, and I gave horrible reviews.
I gave a bad Glassdoor review at one of my old companies before.
Yeah, Indeed.
Done that.
I did that on Indeed a lot. And some of these companies need more accountability, and I do believe that, but they don't need me getting angry and telling other people why I'm angry and blaming the company for my anger. Like, it's not the company's fault; it's my fault. And I need to forgive myself from these past aggressions. Let go and move the fuck on, dude. Like, the taxes, my credit score. I'm happy where I'm at now because I'm working on these things very slowly. And
but it takes time, and it takes a lot of energy and diligence to reset your credit score or any of those things. And coincidentally, I have a U-Haul story as well. We were just about to move from Voorhees to Philadelphia, and it was me and my girlfriend moving for the first time in together. So I thought I rented a U-Haul, and I did for the time frame that would take. We planned to move from Thursday into Sunday into our new place. So I was going to move myself, my girlfriend, and then move into our new place together. And I didn't realize that U-Haul only has 24-hour rentals. You can't hold on for the car or for the truck. You have to return it and then have a new truck every single day.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I was like, well, that's not going to fucking work. So I ended up having to, after a huge battle with this inside of the U-Haul store with this rep saying, I'm sorry, sir, that's not how this is going to work. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take the car and start loading stuff in. And what I decided to do is I just held on to the U-Haul without them being okay with it. And they were like, sir, you have to return this. I'm like, listen, I'm moving and I need this truck and I'm going to keep it until this time frame. I'm like, well, we're going to charge you. And I said, that's okay. Cause I made this mistake. And it turned out to be, $600 of late charge fees. And I had to pay for that mistake, in turn. And I was so mad at U-Haul for so long.
Yeah, right.
But it's not their fault. It was clearly mine. I didn't read any of the the things about their policies or anything like that. I just assumed that was gonna be how it worked. And well, I made it work with my will, and I really felt shitty for that for a long time. But the manager was like, oh, well, I guess you could do that. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm going to.
Yeah, because you see that $19.99 on the side of the truck. You're like, oh, I can get it for that price.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's just for one day on an in-town delivery or one thing.
Yeah,
Not
that's like having it for like 4
not a
hours.
weekend, not a weekend.
No.
Which is why I was upset with U-Haul, because when I wanted to take it for a week, they were like, it's gonna be $1,600, and I'm like,
Yeah. I thought it was
what?
closer. I thought it was going to be closer to $1,600 too. I was really worried that I was going to be like out of my budget to do
Well,
so.
I mean,
I don't think I'll ever like move myself again in that sense. I think that from now on we'll just get like a moving company,
yeah, hell yeah.
especially.
Yeah, you learn from your mistakes, and
Hmm.
and that's it. You gotta let go,
I'd rather
because
just save up for it, honestly.
here I found this awesome article on psychologytoday.com.
Hmm.
And for everyone that's been coming back and listening, and for you, John, I've been finding a lot of good topics on
I
everything.
really like psychology.com. Like I always thought like they're reputable. I always thought that, even when I was doing like papers and things, like I always use psychology.com for like my stuff.
Yeah, and I'm not sure who wrote this, to give credit to whoever wrote it. I can't find the article like that, but it says right here, how do I overcome resentment? Question mark. And because a lot of these websites and videos tell you what the benefits of it are. And John, I think
Hmm.
we mentioned this earlier. Like, I only know how to do it for myself, and I don't want to be up here telling people how to do it, because everyone's different and everyone has their own process. But this is a really cool bullet points of what to do. How do I overcome resentment? Resentment can sometimes linger for years, even if we believe that we've moved on or forgotten about it. To release resentment, reflect on why the person may have committed the offense, or sit down with the pain, which I think you mentioned,
Hmm.
feeling, and try to forgive the other person, because forgiveness can instill a sense of strength that overpowers the bitterness. So I
Yep.
think that ties into, what was it, number 5 that you read?
Hang on.
What are we
Hang
at?
on. We were at number 5 when I last time I checked. Hold on. Avoiding telling people what to do. No. Switch the focus from blaming others to understanding yourself. That was
Yep.
number
Boom,
4.
right there. That's how you let go
Yeah.
of resentment. Boom.
Boom.
So what else is on that list? Keep going through them.
You want to keep go through? All
I
right.
like
So
this list.
avoid telling people what to do is the next thing. And I always feel like it's really hard for me to avoid doing this, whether intentionally or unintentionally.
Oh,
I feel like it says here, avoiding thoughts and activities that involve telling people who are perfectly capable of making their own choices what to do. I was
oh,
like, damn, a little
oh.
sassy in that comment, but you know what? Kind of right.
It's a hunt, John. Work in a restaurant. I want you to work in a
Oh,
restaurant for one shift.
I couldn't do it.
Dude, I I am that person who tells people what to do and how to do it. And
Mhm.
my boss was that person. And I've also worked with people that have been like that. And I would hate that person so much for telling
I
me,
know,
you know,
telling me what to do.
you know,
I
I was
always had
doing
a
the same
problem with
thing.
that too.
I was doing the
Yeah,
same goddamn thing. And I needed to hear that today, John. This is why we're here. This is why we're here
this is
amongst
why.
friends, because
That's right.
I needed to hear
Amongst
that.
friends, we hear what we need to hear sometimes.
Ah,
Sometimes we hear a message, and
keep
sometimes that
going.
message
Keep
needs to
going.
ring.
Hallelujah. Keep going.
Hallelujah. Where are we at? Avoiding people what to do. Okay, so this is always true. Blah blah blah. Here we go. Step 6. Learn to let go and be like water.
Ooh,
Wow.
I've heard that. I've heard that before, actually.
Like
Um,
water?
yeah, what's water mean? It means that you're easy to flow and you're just kind of going with it. Not rapids. This isn't going over the waterfall, and the hard part's over. Over. Go with the flow. Like, float like a leaf down the river of life.
Hmm.
You know.
Wow.
Um,
Poetic.
so yeah, yeah,
Rather
perfect.
than attempting to dominate with your forcefulness, be like water, flow everywhere there's an opening. Soften your hard edges by being more tolerant of contrary opinions. Interfere less and substitute listening for directing and telling.
Yes.
Powerful.
Yes.
Moving on. Taking responsibility for your part. That's something we've been talking about a little bit, is being responsible for your own actions, owning your own wake. Removing blame means never assigning responsibility to anyone else for what you're experiencing. Ooh.
Yep. Yep. I do that all the time, especially with my family, and again with my partner. You know, and I blame other people, and
it's a lot easier to point the finger at other people
we all want
than it is pointing it at yourself too. You know,
I mean, go back to the YouTube comments. It's so much easier to point the finger at someone who's stealing your package, but you don't know why that person stole your package. They could be struggling themselves with money and without, you know, and with family issues, and they could be struggling just to get by. They're struggling with their own depression and sometimes, you know, psychosis and drug psychosis. It's so
believe
much
me,
easier.
I don't think anybody taking packages. I know it sucks, but I don't think anybody that's taking packages it really wants to take your packages because, you know,
no,
if they had their own money, I'm sure they would buy it themselves.
And you know, and yeah, again, like it sucks. There's no excuse for it, but there is a reason why it's happening. It's not just I'm not just walking by a door and go, oh, that's a nice package. You know what? I'm a nice person, but I'm going to take that package. No, you got other issues that you aren't letting go of and you're not working through that makes you do crazy things. I've done some crazy fucking things, and I don't think anyone should be blamed or sought out vengeance against because of these acts.
You know, it makes me also think about why we have to retaliate about like against these people. It doesn't make sense to me. I really hearing this like doesn't like Amazon or UPS, FedEx, don't they like refund the customer anyway? Amazon does. Like if somebody takes your Amazon package and you tell Amazon like somebody took my fucking package, like Amazon's not going to tell you too bad, like you got to pay for it again. They're not going to do that.
They're going to refund your account or give you a gift card.
They're going to refund you.
Even if you reach out, we had a package stolen in Florida, and we reached out to the company, and they were like, "I'm so sorry that happened. We're going to send you a new one, and we're going to make sure you have to sign off to receive it."
Yeah.
We didn't go after our neighbors. We didn't knock on doors and try and get even. No, my neighbors down there were poor and they were struggling.
We're not playing Liam Neeson, okay? We're trying.
I will find you, and I will kill you.
And I will take my Amazon package back with me. Yeah,
like no, nothing's worth it, man. Even if it's a box of gold, it's material shit, dude. Stop. Anyway, keep going, John. What's next?
All right. I think we talked about taking responsibility for your part. That's what we just went over. Let go of resentments.
Yeah.
What causes annoyance and anger after a dispute? The generic response would be a laundry list detailing why the other person was wrong and how illogically and unreasonably they behaved, concluding with something like, I have a right to be upset with you.
Yes.
Oh.
Dude. I always justify my anger that way. Like,
yes.
Well, I mean, I was made fun of. This person just made fun of me. I have the right to be angry. God damn it.
I have the right to retaliate too.
Yeah, dude. Wow.
To defend my honor. You know, and that's like that's where my head goes. I get into this weird self-righteous mood where I have to like now respond with my vengeance, if you will.
Ego, dude.
Ego.
I just picked up a book. Actually, my partner had this book. I'm not going to take responsibility for picking it up. But The Power of Now. I don't know if
I've heard really good things about this book. But I'm not even kidding. My dad told me to read this book.
Yeah, Eckart Tolle is a spiritual kind of guru guy. He's not looking for your. He's not. I mean, he sold a book, but he's not trying to sell you a 12-step plan, or he's not trying to sell you a cure. One shoe size fits all. This is actually a how-to guide of turning your brain into living seriously in the moment, and it goes into ego. And it goes into, you know, I haven't read too much of it yet, but what I have read is fucking amazing, and it's like an aha moment every other line.
I love books like that. I love when every book is like, oh man, like I just relate to so much of like what this sentence just like radiates, like the power of goodness through it.
Dude, and it's not It's not trying to sell you, hey, meet me at this conference in Florida, and I'll give you the 10 steps that you need to become successful. Because there's a lot of toxic people out there that are peddling self-help, and that is a weird rabbit hole to go down to.
My favorite brand of that is, did you ever watch the Malibu commercials?
Yeah, dude.
I loved the concept of the Malibu commercials. I thought it was like watching somebody just lavishly just shit on all sorts of types of recovery. And he was like, he's like, this isn't a 12-step program. It works. And he smiles like this, like,
I used to be an addict,
smile.
And now I'm not.
Oh my god, that's so it too. It was
Praxis. Praxis was his name. Yeah,
What's
dude.
that?
His last name.
What was his name? Praxis.
Praxis. I don't know. I don't know. I hope he's still healthy, and I hope he's not addicted anymore. But I don't think
he.
I mean, I have heard some good stories come out of that place. I've never experienced it. I don't think I personally know anybody. So it's all word of mouth and kind of like second hand down stories or hand me down stories. So, if it's a positive message and a positive story, that's cool, share that. But don't try and sell me a $500,000 retreat trying to promise a cure for my ailments, because there's no cure. It's just how you deal with it,
handle it
through the remainder of your life. And again, that's, I think a lot of it's in this book, The Power of Now.
I'm really gonna have to check that out, because like that's the second time it's been recommended to me.
Yeah, and you can find Eckhart Tolle on YouTube as well. He's got he has a channel. He's got a whole bunch of videos. He actually has a video on forgiveness. So if anybody wants to check that out, I'll put the link in the description and in the bio. And I want you to make your own decisions and choices on how you feel about it. I'm not going to say it's a one size fits all. It's really the amount of work you're willing to put into it, and you have to put work into it. If you're just sitting around waiting to feel better, waiting for things to change,
it doesn't happen by itself.
My whole 2020, dude, I sat around waiting for things to get better, waiting for change, and it just led me down that fucking rabbit hole.
And I don't think you're the only one that felt like that either. I think that a lot of people have been waiting for something to change, but it doesn't start until you make the change, which is, I think, the really funny part about it. And it snowballs. You'll start to see change happen throughout your entire life as soon as you begin the process of change.
No, you're dead.
And nobody's going to do it for you. Nobody's going to make that, make you cross that line in the sand if you don't want to. And,
Oh, sorry. What?
And I just think that it's always been like that. And I've been doing things, and so Shawn, so have you. I've been doing counseling. I've been doing things to like better myself. Like I wanted to start like, being more mindful about how my actions are. And I've been really starting to feel the sense of healing going on.
Yes. Yes, I can agree.
And that brings us to like, what we can do instead, which is number 9 on the list, is be kind instead of be right. Powerful. Kindness goes a long way in this sense. In the Chinese proverb is, if you're going to pursue revenge, you better dig 2 graves.
No.
Wow.
Here you go. Revenge is, watching that documentary, I don't think anyone who wished the death on someone else is ever going to recover until they forgive and let go. But at that point, you already killed the person, so you can't forgive them. You can't let them know you forgave them. I forget who it was, but somebody was killed by a kid, and the grandfather was in the courtroom in full tears, crying, saying, it's okay, I forgive you for what you took away from me. I forgive you for your actions. And he was crying. And that was like the most godly thing I've ever seen. This man struggled so hard just to forgive and let go, because he knew if he took that with him, it's going to rub off on his family. It's going to rub off on his neighbors. It's like every dad coming back from Vietnam, or not every dad, but coming back from a war that not you didn't necessarily want to be in, and if a lot of soldiers did not forgive themselves, and
True.
I had never been in battle, or I never been in the military or Air Force or anything, so this is coming from what I've seen, but if you don't forgive yourself for that action, it's that you can take it out on your kids, and your kids then carry that over,
and they carry that forever.
And it could be a generational thing. It can, because if you have a whole generation that goes off to war and comes back and it doesn't forgive and move on, they're going to hold on to that resentment. And look at the state of our country right now. We have people that are so hateful towards immigrants and so
hateful
towards
different political views, or the government.
This didn't happen overnight. This happened 50 years ago, and this is what damage it does. The Trump administration didn't make up all these problems. It was what the problems made the Trump administration. It made these people. It's a generational thing,
And I think that the Trump administration really they developed the brand, if you will. They the Kool-Aid for anybody that's paying attention, and I think that the American people, or like the Republican people, they drank it.
Yeah.
And you see such a divide in that house right now. And it's weird. It's like, it's not against like a divide between Republican or Democratic anymore.
Right or wrong.
It's a divide between, the Trump administration and then the Republican Party, which I found so weird. And I don't think that it's ever going to really be the same anymore.
No. I mean, I honestly don't think it's been the same since Eisenhower left office.
Eisenhower.
Yeah, Eisenhower, dude, back in 50, 54?
Right after World War II.
He wasn't. I don't think he was the president right after World War II.
It was Roosevelt, and then who was it after Roosevelt?
I think Truman served.
Truman.
I think Roosevelt died on his fourth term, and Truman.
His fourth term?
Yeah, and Truman took over, I think.
Really?
Yeah, Roosevelt. Yeah, I
didn't know
he made a law. They made a law against how many terms a president can have, because Roosevelt took 4, and he could have kept going if he didn't die. He could have kept going for 10, like Vladimir Putin. They don't have that law in Russia, so he can keep getting reelected every time. And again,
really?
Putin is a sense of security for a lot of Russians. He's a sense of security because they only know they only know life of what he's been in, and they didn't like what happened with the Soviet Union. Again, I'm not a Russian. I'm sorry if I'm fucking this up.
No,
but
don't take this personally if you're Russian listening to this.
When Stalin died, people were scared because at least with Stalin alive, they thought nobody would come in and fuck with them. And I know a lot of Russians. I know a couple of Russians I've talked to who moved here, and some Ukrainians who the Iron Curtain and some of it was just, what to expect. So they knew they knew nothing really bad would happen to them. And, I mean, it ended up falling apart in Ukraine horribly because they got half their country got like fucking annexed or whatever. And that's a whole rabbit hole of information that I do not know, so I'm not going to dip my hands into that.
We should really dive into that one of these days, though. We should go into like some of the conspiracy stories.
I think after our self-help series here.
We should really go into something like that.
I'm down. I think our next episode should be something like that.
You think so?
We'll start easy, I think. I want to go into a lot of the books I've been reading and a lot of the philosophy I've picked up on and a lot of movies that I've been watching. I don't know if you know about the movie Tenet.
Tenet?
Yeah, it just came out. It's the new Christopher Nolan film.
No, was it good? Did you watch it? I know that you're a big movie guy.
Yeah, this movie is the same director that did Inception. He did Interstellar, the Batman trilogy.
Oh my God, I showed my partner Interstellar a couple of weeks ago, and it blew her noggin a little
Dude,
bit.
it's like one of my favorite movies.
I love that movie too.
Even though
Yeah,
it's kind of silly at points.
it
And
is kind of silly, but
there's a
you know
couple
what?
loopholes, but I love it. I fucking
Love
love
it.
it.
Love the concept. Love the movie. Love Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, dude, right? He's great in it.
Yeah.
The
All right.
the acting is stellar. That's what, and
Good
the
acting.
story is paced well enough to where you don't feel like you're getting overwhelmed. Now, his new film, it deals with like people moving forward and backwards in time, and they talk so quickly, you quickly forget who's who, what they're doing, who they're fighting, and why they're fighting. But at least the action scenes were shot so well, it kind of made up for it. So,
really?
Yeah, it's a very
confusing movie. I'll give it a shot. It's on the list. I got a couple of list movies that I want to pick up on.
Give me a couple. What do you think?
You want a couple? All right. So
the
first one is Hellraiser. I'm gonna watch Hellraiser with Pinhead. I've never seen it. I'm excited to watch it with the Cenobites.
Yep.
Aliens 2. I'm gonna watch Alien 2.
Yep.
Or Aliens.
That's the James Cameron Alien. The first one was Ridley Scott. Second one was
Ridley Scott.
Cameron.
I didn't know it was James Cameron in the second one.
Third one was David Fincher. You have the three of the best directors of their time making each Alien movie.
Why did they have? I thought Ridley Scott was like the original guy in terms of that, though. Why did they go to different directors?
He produced the other ones. The studio controls the franchise.
So Warner Brothers.
Yeah, so I think it's Warner Brothers. Don't quote me on that.
Okay, I think it's Warner Brothers.
But yeah, they okay the screenplays, and then they offer it to two directors. I think Ridley Scott was doing a different movie at that time, so they offered.
Oh, really?
They offered it to James Cameron, who did the Terminator film. And
I'm excited to watch Aliens too, because I loved Alien.
Aliens it's great. The first three Alien films are phenomenal. The last one, David Fincher, he made the movie Fight Club in 7. He's one of my favorite directors of all time. I love all of them. I love all those directors. Yeah. Excellent guys.
What else do I got? I got Batman, Batman 1989 Batman. We're gonna watch
Michael Keaton Batman.
With Tim Burton. Tim Burton's Batman.
Mm-hmm. Yes, watch both of those.
Do you think I could just get away with just watching one of them? Can I just watch the second one and call it a day?
Yeah, they don't really.
They don't really. Okay.
They're just
because I heard Batman 2 is probably better if I were gonna like pay attention and put time and energy into it.
They're both good. All right.
You think
They're
so?
Both good. Okay. Batman 2 is a little bit more Tim Burton-esque with the characters.
I like the Tim Burton-esque.
Yeah, I love Tim Burton, dude. I love all of his stuff except Alice in Wonderland. But and
then I'm trying to think if there was another one that was on our list. For me personally, Idiocracy was on my list. I always wanted to watch Idiocracy because I thought it was so appropriate. So appropriate for like how we are right now in our time and age. It really feels like the dumbing down of the nation.
No, seriously.
You got kids that can't go to school. I heard on the news recently I believe it was on CNN, if I'm not mistaken, that their schools are really planning to stay open throughout the summer this year due to how much time was lost in the classroom.
Yep. All the schools around here are remote learning right now.
Remote learning.
They are going to have classes that go into the summertime.
Yeah.
Which it's I don't know how to handle that shit.
I don't know how. I think I'm really thankful that I'm not a kid during this time, because I think that students right now is truly like traumatizing, difficult, boring. All those things, and I don't know how I don't know how parents are doing it right now with their kids being in that position.
Yeah, I mean, how 9/11 kind of shaped us.
Yes, I do remember that. This
is going to shape an entire generation.
I think so too.
Yeah, Generation Z or X, whatever they are right now.
Generation Z, I believe they're in.
Yeah, dude, they're going to be, I think, much better equipped for adulthood than you and me were, for example. I think.
You think so?
Yes, I know so. I have so much faith in this next generation. I'm not going to be that guy who hates the generation below me.
I'm going to like the. I'm going to accept the Gen Zs.
Yeah.
And bring them into adulthood.
Yeah, and I think they're going to be the ones that are going to change this world for the better. Because
Mhm.
John, our age group, we're on the brink. We're a lot more progressive thinking. We're a lot more, thinking for the people than personal interests. And I do think we are going to be the people to help influence the change, but they are going to be the ones to actually practice the change. And that goes for like here. I saw this awesome article, and again, I apologize for not writing it down, but about the violence in movies today. And like in the 80s or in the 90s when you and me grew up, there was like big, strong, shirtless men, guns
Oh, The
everywhere.
Rock. Yeah.
Um,
Bruce
I'm thinking
Willis
more
in
like
there.
Bruce Willis, Mel Gibson,
Mel Gibson.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, all these people.
Yep. Oh, how could I forget Arnold?
But think about this: those guys were mass murderers because John McClane, when he's got stuck in that tower in Die Hard, yes, he's killing terrorists, but he's killing people, and his body count's like at 20 by the time it's over. Like
I never even realized. I never even
you
counted.
probably see jail time. Like have you ever seen what's it called? Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, Riggs, um, Mel Gibson's character, can
Yeah. How many
not be a
people does he
fucking
not?
cop. Like he's unstable. He has some bipolar issues. He's depressed. He's suicidal. Somehow they still gave him a gun and tell him to go save the fucking day. Now,
Oh wow.
the article I read was that movies are going to get less violent because we don't glorify the death anymore. Like I watched a movie the other day on Netflix, and it was about these like four soldiers who like were immortal, and they were like every time they got into a fight, it was for the betterment of the world, but they killed so many people doing it, and the ends did not justify the means in this movie, but the movie pretended that these people are trying to save the world, but it's like no, you killed people that had families and they had loved ones that are no longer going to see them because you blew their fucking head off. Like the amount of violence in newer movies is hard for me to watch because I know now how violent our society can really be and how we wouldn't stand for that in reality, you know?
It makes me think about like how uh we would think about Grand Theft Auto
Yep,
as
yep.
kids.
Perfect example. Yep.
Grand Theft Auto, it was like the big. I remember Grand Theft Auto 3 in 8th grade being like the most difficult thing for people to like. Hang on, I'm sorry, I just got like disconnected from my headphones.
No, you're right.
But Grand Theft Auto was like the major talk of the town. Should my kid be allowed to play Grand Theft Auto because like they're too young and they have the rated M for maturity? I think that rated M maturity and like those things are really valuable because like
they can be.
I don't know if I can like really say for my like if I had like a 5-year-old kid and he started to play like Halo or something like that. I don't know if I would let him play Halo. I
Yeah.
don't think I would do it because
Yeah,
I don't
right.
realize that killing people is such an easy
No, you're right.
unrewarding or a rewarding thing. Like you don't like progress through life trying to like kill people. That
No,
doesn't
like
make sense.
I don't think controlling anything by the means of the government controlling is going to make anything easier. I think that's a negative. In fact, it's up to you, John, as a parent, to explain why it's wrong. And a kid's
Why
gonna
it's wrong.
yeah, kids are sponges towards their parents. And if they like my dad watched all those violent movies, so I watched all those violent movies, and I grew up thinking I know they're just movies, but it's okay to root for the good guy and kill the bad guy. I was the society that I grew up in told me that vengeance was the right thing to do because you're good and don't question anything else. So I think games do that a lot. I mean, like, Halo is a great example. A lot of those, like I forget their names. A lot of the little alien guys in the first one, they have personalities.
Oh, the grunts.
Yeah, they have
I think they were called the
personalities.
grunts.
They have names. I'm sure they have some kind of family structure somewhere, and they're not even on your. I mean, I think they destroyed a ship or something to ignite the first game, but
Right.
it's just too. It's like Ender's Game. You're just killing people for the sake of killing people to win, like, and that kind of sets up that sets up the okayness to people in real life. I think, I
You know
don't
what I
think.
was appreciated in games like that though is like Fallout. Fallout really made you choose if you wanted to like do like that kind of stuff. I felt like there was always a consequence for like just rampaging through the game.
Skyrim, remember Skyrim?
Skyrim, yeah, too, yeah.
You got in trouble for hurting people. You got in trouble for hurting town folks. Go out and kill the bears. Go out and kill the dragons. But even that, like I was playing on one of the Final Fantasies, and I think it was Final Fantasy 12, and you are given this hunter list, and the hunter list, you're supposed to go out into the world and find the one species that is special and kill it, and then take it back as a trophy. Like, you mean there's only one of these creatures in the world, and you're gonna kill it? Like,
oh my god, I always think about like, did you ever watch Hellboy?
Yes, of course.
Hellboy 2, like when he fights the elemental,
he feels bad about it,
and he feels awful for killing it. Like, and you're right. Like, it's never, the world's never gonna see something like that again.
Princess Mononoke. Remember Princess Mononoke? You
know what, dude? I really have to put that on the list to watch because I've never seen Princess Mononoke.
Do it. The same thing happens. I don't want to spoil it for you.
Okay.
It's been 30 years. You should watch it by now. But no, seriously. That's perfect. I think we'll start breaking off of the self-help topics.
We have so many good things that we can like really go into with this. Like, I just want, like, the reason that we did these things for the past couple of weeks, I think, was for you and me, Shawn.
Yes.
We were talking about things that we required our attention or required us to reevaluate, and forgiveness is part of that. Part of that list of the 5 fingers turning into a fist.
Yep.
In order for us to move forward and punch through our day, forgiveness is going to be a real big part of that.
Yeah, and I think we can always tie those episodes into everything we're going to do in the future to show everyone, and you and me, the steps that we're doing. Like, I'm still meditating. When my shoulder gets more healed, I'm going to go back into full body workouts, especially after my physical therapy, because I'm going to do this the right way this time. And lead by example. I want to lead by example. You and me we're not celebrities. We're not we're not in this for money, although I'll gladly take some donations to help keep this shit floating. I'm not here to make a profit. I'm here to make
people happy.
I'm here to be a fucking friend, dude. Like,
and amongst friends, and be a reputable host and an entertainer through this time and age that we are currently living through. I think looking at, like, this is going to be one of the last few episodes, maybe second to last for the year of 2020, and it's been quite a year for all of us. Reaching out and to our viewers, to our listeners, personally, just want to say thank you again for being in our corner and knowing full well that you're also part of our corner.
Yes. Reach out, please.
And it's okay. During these things, like, we have to embrace these dark times and through, like, the camaraderie of, like, a sinking ship. We're going to survive this.
Yes, we can all help each other. And
sometimes we're going to have to pay some waters, but we're going to survive this time, and we're going to see a different normalcy. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen, but you know what? The ability to continue to foster hope is so important, and don't lose it, guys. Don't lose hope.
Yeah. Please reach out with any questions, comments, concerns. I would love to hear back, and I would love to be able to give my 2 cents, maybe in a more private manner or form. You can always reach out, or we're at AF the podcast on Instagram now. That's the same as our email, afthepodcast
at
at
gmail.com.
Real easy to remember, real easy to find. No more shicklack bullshit.
I like shicklack.
I'm keeping that for personal use, of course.
Oh yeah, naturally.
Moving forward, I want to start growing this, and I want to start having, now that we got through the hard stuff, I think that, John, we can start having a lot more fucking fun.
Yeah, a lot more fun, and I'm thinking about having some guests on here. Like, we'll have some.
I have 2 already lined up.
You have guests? You have guests lined up?
We don't have any dates yet, but I have one friend in California right now who would love to talk to us. He's also a YouTuber and a Snapchat, Instagram kind of person.
Dude, love that idea. Yeah, let's totally get him on.
He's from upstate New York, and he would love to put his 2 cents in. John, I think we have another friend who is going to want to jump on here soon, and tell his story.
Ooh, a friend that we both know?
Yes, of course. Yeah, I think we have. I think I have 2 friends that we both know that want to jump on here.
No way.
Yeah.
I'm excited to have him on.
Yeah. I'm not gonna drop names right now because I don't want to pressure.
Yeah, we're not gonna do that yet. But I'm excited to know people. It's almost like a surprise. It's like a little Christmas surprise for me.
Yeah. So, and again, if anybody else wants to reach out and join the discussion,
feel free to do so.
Now, we're gonna start a Discord soon. So we're gonna start like a group chat soon. It's gonna meet probably on one of our days off that we can make happen schedule wise. And once people start sipping on the Kool-Aid, we can then start really implementing some beneficial change. So,
and it's all going to be Kool-Aid. No weird stuff in the Kool-Aid, guys.
I promise. Yes, I promise. Yeah. I promise. No, but seriously, I'm coming over a lot of demons that I've been holding on to.
Me too, dude. I got to tell you, I've been working on some of these things with counseling, in counseling in private, and talking about things and bringing these things to more generalized, more public, more exposed. I feel really good about it too.
Yeah, I have a job that's in retail, so I have the ability now to put these steps into practice with strangers.
Yeah.
Being completely happy, being completely concerned and listening, not predetermining, this person doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, I'm gonna be angry or be rude or whatever. So this is actually a great time for me to start putting these tests to work. So I'm excited. I'm really excited for the future. I love talking about forgiveness today because.
Yeah, I did too, dude. We got a little off topic about things, but in terms of that, it really hit home to talk about forgiving and forgiveness and how powerful that is to change.
If you're listening, thank you. That's it. Yeah.
Thanks, guys. And thank you for listening to Amongst Friends today. You had a lot of choices to pick through for all the podcasts, so you chose us. And as JC said, we appreciate that.
And we'll see you next week.
See ya. Peace.